once I didn't sign back with the NC, I had to make a decision on, where I wanted to play. The options became limited. I really wanted to stay in the KBO.
Yeah.
And so I had some other opportunities like Taiwan or Mexico or some AAA jobs or something like that. But if you make a decision to play somewhere other than the KBO, sometimes there can be some obstacles to overcome to get back there. Your contracts, and you have buyouts, and you have all kinds of things that could happen. And so I didn't want any distractions if I had the opportunity to go back.
Yeah.
And I'm a very disciplined person when it comes to my training and my throwing. I can self-manage myself, and so I just managed my workouts accordingly, and I just did like I would do for a season. Really, I just started throwing my bullpens, and only thing that I didn't have was I didn't play games. I faced hitters.
Oh, you faced hitters, but not good games.
Yeah, so I would go to a college or the high school, or I went to several different places. I would just call and I would make a schedule.
Oh, that's a hard job, though.
Yeah, I was my own manager.
Yeah.
And so I would call and schedule everything, and I have know several people in the area, and I would just schedule my pitching, and I would go and throw, what I started is just like I would for spring training or the season. I would start like my first time out, I'd throw like 20 pitches.
Yeah.
And then I would throw 40 pitches and 60 pitches, and I built up like I would for regular season. And I got up to where I was throwing, 80 to 100 pitches. That's how I conditioned myself. And so I would go out and I would throw 5-6 innings against hitters, and just like I would for a game. And so that was how I was able to go from my backyard to the KBO. I felt really good about doing that. And when Nexon called,
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go. Well, I kept telling everybody I'm ready. So they all knew, but I think they all wondered, like, oh, is he really ready to go?
Yeah.
And so they came out and they saw me throw, and they were like, whoa.
Oh, they came here?
Yeah, they came here. Scout and general manager, yeah.
Oh, the general manager came too.
And so they came to the hometown and they saw me pitch, and I think they were a little shocked that I was in as good of a shape that I was.
Yeah.
The hardest thing was when I went to, even though I was doing my own schedule and pitching to hitters, I didn't have a regular spring training and all that, so it was a little different.
Yeah. All by yourself is not.
Yeah, so it is different. So you're having to really push yourself more than you normally would, because your teammates push you and stuff like that. Your coaches push you.
Yeah.
So I had to really stay disciplined, and but the hardest transition was once I got into a game. And I don't know if you guys saw my first game, but I pitched really good for like 4 innings.
Yeah.
And then I was really tired.
That's the real game.
Yeah, so that was what was difficult, was just really my body condition having endurance really. My endurance really wasn't quite ready. I was ready enough to help the team. I wasn't mid-season ready.
Yeah.
So it still took me like a couple starts to really get my endurance up, but I was happy with myself in the sense that I was able to step right in and help Nexon. I mean, when they lost Rogers, it was a huge hole for the team.
Yeah.
And so I was able to step right in, and it was almost like they weren't missing anybody.
Yeah.
And help the team make the postseason.
Saying Hacker is not healthy, and he's old. He has problem with shoulder, and that was a shock news for the fans.
Right, and it was a shock to me. How do I explain that?
Yeah,
I don't really have an explanation of why they did that, other than I would just say that they didn't want me beating them.
Oh.
They didn't want me playing for somebody else and beating them.
That's why they just.
So that's why they did that. What's a comparison? I don't know. Jealousy. Why they didn't sign me back, I don't know. Sometimes it's a business decision.
Yeah, it is.
But for them to say I'm not healthy, or to say,
selfish
bad things about me, was very hurtful to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was hurtful to me to hear that news.
Yeah.
it's one thing to have an opinion about somebody, right?
Yeah.
None of us are perfect. I make mistakes. You make mistakes. We all make mistakes.
True.
But for things to be said that were not true, you know, I played for them for 5 years and was very successful for them, and you know, won Golden Glove for them, and so I didn't understand.
And we didn't understand too.
Yeah, and so I didn't. I wasn't gonna be. I didn't want to get into a media battle with NC. It just didn't make sense. It's not professional.
Yeah, it's not professional to like fight against your whole team and
right. But it was costing me a job, and
True.
I worked really hard at my job to take care of my family and to help my team, and I worked very hard for those things, and for that to be taken from me was hard for me to understand.
And according to he says like you're great teammates. You help them a lot, and you were open-minded. Like you mingle with them really well.
Right.
But then right after the season, there were news saying like, oh, Hacker is like too concerned about his routine. He's not sacrificing at all.
So when all that started, my question was, why don't they ask me and go talk to my teammates?
Yeah.
Go talk to Nasan Baum and Jay Hawk and all these people, Shion, our captain, and you know, all these people, go ask them. They're the guys that were with me every day. Nobody would do that.
Yeah.
All they did was listen to. And so, so I mean, you know, it's one of those things that happen, and you know, I try to make sure that I stay professional about my business and stay focused on helping the next team that needed help, and that was Nexon, and we helped another team make it to the postseason, and I was very successful, and I had a good time with those guys, so I'm thankful for that opportunity.
Yeah.